Good morning students, welcome to YouTube channel of Proton, and this is part 24 of our chapter Human Digestive System. As you know students, in previous chapter we have discussed about the digestion process take place in our small intestine, and some basics we discussed some basics regarding the digestion of food in small intestine in our previous chapter. So students, at that sequence today we will discuss how to digestion of main nutrients take place in our small intestine. So students, without delaying, let's start that how to digestion process take place in our small intestine. So first of all we will talk about the digestion of protein. Clear students, in previous video when we study about the digestion process in our stomach, we know that in digestion process in our stomach there are three types of inactive enzymes. Some deactivated enzyme get activated. In this sequence today we will discuss about the some inactive enzymes which are activated in small intestine before digestion. So students, there are the three inactive enzymes which are help the digestion of protein. So they are trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen and procarboxypeptidase. So these are the enzymes which helps in the digestion of protein. So students, trypsinogen, they are found in our small intestine in inactive forms. So I have mentioned here that trypsinogen get activated through a enzyme which is secreted by intestine, that is known as enterokinase. We have already discussed in our last session. So enterokinase converts trypsinogen into active trypsin. Clear students? In this sequence, chymotrypsin is another inactive enzyme which is also get activated by the enzyme trypsin, which have already activated by enterokinase. So trypsin act on chymotrypsin and it converts this inactive chymotrypsin into active chymotrypsin. So students, inactive chymotrypsin converted into active chymotrypsins. This is the active form. In other words, we can say that this is the active form. Chymotrypsin is the active form of chymotrypsinogen. Got it? In this manner, if we talk about the procarboxypeptidase, it is also an inactive enzyme found in our small intestine. It is also converted by trypsin into carboxypeptidase, which is the active form of procarboxypeptidase. So these are the three inactive enzymes and these are the active form of these three inactive enzymes. Clear students? So basically these enzymes are known as proteolytic enzymes, means these are protein digested enzymes. So they act only protein molecules and their substitutes. Clear students? So if we talk about the protein digestion, we know students that protein digestion starts into our stomach. Some basic molecules of proteins get digested in our stomach, means we get found the partially digested form of protein digestion in our stomach. So students, today we know that when we study about the digestion process in our stomach, we know that some digestive enzymes which are found in our stomach, they get digested protein and they makes the partially digested form of protein digestion. So these are the partially digested form of proteins that are known as proteases, peptones and peptides. In previous video we have already discussed about it. We have already discussed about it in our previous videos. So students, there is no need to talk about these enzymes, these forms. So proteases, peptones and peptides, these are converted in small intestine into dipeptides through these active proteolytic enzymes. They are trypsin, they are chymotrypsin, they may be carboxypeptidase. So these three enzymes, these three active enzymes act on proteases, peptones and peptides. This is the partially digested form of protein. Clear students? So they get converted into dipeptides. These partially digested form of protein converted through these enzymes into dipeptides. Dipeptide, di means two. Clear students? So two molecules or peptides are max the one molecules of peptides. Clear? This is known as dipeptides. So monopeptides plus monopeptides makes dipeptides. This is the partially digested form of protein. So this is not end products of protein. Means I mean to say that this form of protein further get divided into shorter form of proteins. So dipeptidase enzyme, which are found in our intestine, is also act on this dipeptides and converts into the last form of protein, that is known as amino acids. Means further there is further divisions of proteins are not possible after amino acids. So this is the end products of protein digestion. Means this is the form of protein digestion which further not get divides. Clear, students? Means this is the end products of protein digestion. In other words, we can say this is the form of protein which is absorbed by our body, which is absorbed by our small intestine, which is absorbed by our mucus layer, which is absorbed by our villi. This is the last form of protein, and further protein digestion not possible. So student, this is the last product for protein digestion. So I mentioned here that end products of protein digestion is amino acids. So there is the amino acids which further divisions are not possible. So this is the end products of protein digestion. I mean to say protein digestion get ends from for here. Clear, students? So this is the protein digestion process, and which enzymes are act on this I have mentioned here, and I hope you have understood here. So this is all about the protein digestion. Let's talk about the carbohydrates digestion. How to carbohydrates get digested in our small intestine. Students, before starting discussion about this form, I have told you that we have discussed in our previous video that carbohydrate digestions get starts in our mouth cavity. If you have remembered that we have whenever we discussed about the digestion process in our mouth cavity, I told you at that time that carbohydrates digestion starts in our mouth cavity. Clear, students? And from there we have discussed that 30% of carbohydrates, which is the starch, get digested in our mouth cavity. Clear, students? So must remember this thing. So there is no all 100% digestion occurs in our small intestine. Only 70% of carbohydrate digestion get completed in our small intestine. Must be remember, students, this thing. So students, we will talk about that in mouth cavity carbohydrate digestion starts. So this is the side product of carbohydrates. This is the simple sugar. Multiple monosaccharides form of sugars monosaccharides form of starch get combined and form this types of carbohydrates, that is known as polysaccharides. Clear, students? So this is the form of our sugar. Clear? Our carbohydrates. So polysaccharides get converted through pancreatic amylase in disaccharides. So this is pancreatic amylase is the enzyme which digests the carbohydrates found in our small intestine. So we have already discussed some enzymes are found in our pancreatic juice, some enzymes are found in our intestinal juice. So this is the pancreatic amylase enzyme which converts this polysaccharides molecules into disaccharides. As we discussed, that di means two molecules of monosaccharide sugars, monosaccharides carbohydrates are get combined and form disaccharides of form of carbohydrates. So polysaccharides get converted into disaccharides, and we know that disaccharides form they are given a special names, some special names. That's maltose. What is maltose? Maltose is the 2 units of glucose when mix 2 glucose of two molecules of glucose, two units of glucose, that is known as maltose. Means this is a disaccharide. This is a disaccharide. Carbohydrates, when we talk about the glucose plus galactose, 1 unit of glucose, 1 unit of galactose, they forms lactose. Clear, students? And when 1 molecule of glucose, 1 unit of glucose and 1 unit of fructose get mixed, and they forms a special types of disaccharide that is known as sucrose. Clear, students? So this is the form of disaccharides. They are special disaccharides that is known as maltose, lactose and sucrose. So students, don't be confused. This is the disaccharides. These are three I have mentioned here. These are disaccharides, carbohydrates. Clear, students? If we talk about the disaccharides digestion in our small intestine, so students, maltase act on this maltose, and this converts this maltose into glucose plus glucose. Means this maltase enzyme converts this maltose, means this disaccharide sugar, into the monosaccharide sugar that is known as glucose plus glucose. We have earlier discussed what is glucose plus glucose. This is the monosaccharide sugar. Clear, students? So monosaccharides units of glucose, 2 units max, a disaccharides unit that is known as maltose. So students, maltose converts into glucose plus glucose. So, and which enzyme act on this disaccharide sugar? Maltase. Always remember, students, if we talk about the lactose digestion, so lactose get converted into glucose plus galactose, and enzyme that is known as lactase acts on this disaccharide sugar. Clear, students? So this is the simplest form of lactose. This is the simplest form of disaccharide sugar. And we talk about the sucrose. The sucrose converts into glucose plus fructose, and sucrase enzyme act on this sucrose. Clear, students? So these are the simplest form of carbohydrates. There is further divisions are not possible from here. So these are the end products of carbohydrates digestion. As we discussed earlier, the end products of protein. So end products of protein is known as amino acids, and end products of carbohydrate digestion are known as these monosaccharide sugars, that is glucose plus glucose, glucose plus galactose and glucose plus fructose. So this is the simplest form of carbohydrates. So this is the form of carbohydrate digestion that is absorbed by our body. Clear, students? So must we remember this thing. If we talk about the fat digestion, we know that fat digestion starts in our, the most of fat digestion starts in our small intestine. So here I have mentioned that fat converts into pancreatic lipase by pancreatic lipase, fat converted into disaccharides. As we discussed, di means 2 molecules of glycerides are get combined and form disaccharide fat. So fat, first of we can say the monoglycerides. We can say fat means monoglycerides. So monoglycerides converts into diglycerides in the presence of which enzymes? Pancreatic lipase. So pancreatic lipase act on fats molecules, big molecules of fat, and converts these big molecules of fats into diglycerides. In previous video we have discussed about the name of the process. What is the name of the process in which fats, large molecules of fats converts into small droplets of fats, that is known as emulsifications. In our previous video we have already discussed about this process. So don't be confused, don't forget this thing. So fats molecules, first of all, fat molecules convert into diglycerides, and in the presence of pancreatic lipase. P indicating pancreatic lipase, means this enzyme found in our pancreatic juice. So students, pancreatic lipase converts into large molecules of fats into diglycerides, 2 units of fat. Clear, students? These disaccharides are converted further into monoglyceride in the presence of intestinal lipase. So intestinal lipase enzymes act on this diglyceride molecules and convert this diglyceride molecules into monoglyceride molecules. Monoglyceride means, mono means one molecules, only single unit of glycerides. So students, this is the monoglyceride fat, and intestinal lipase again act on this monoglyceride molecules and convert into these monoglyceride molecules units into fatty acid and glycerol. And must be remember, students, must be notice this thing, as we have discussed the end products of carbohydrates, as we discussed end products of protein digestion, fatty acid and glycerol are the end products of our fat digestions. Clear, students? So must be remember, these are the major nutrients which are get digested, means large molecules of these major nutrients converted into the end products of these major nutrients. Clear, students? So if you ask anybody what is the end products of protein digestion, you answered that amino acids are the end products of protein digestion. If you asked the end products of carbohydrate digestions, these are the end products of carbohydrate digestion. If you asked anybody that end products of fat digestion, so end products of fat digestion is fatty acid and glycerol. Clear, students? Must be remember, and sometimes ask the questions that protein digestion starts in which organ, which gland. So students, you must be remember, protein digestion starts in our stomach, means protein digestion begins in our stomach. If we talk about the fat digestion, so fat digestion starts in our small intestine, and where the end products of fat digestion form. So end products of fat digestion form into small intestine also. Clear, students? So these are the basic digestion process, how to digestion process take place in our small intestine, major nutrients, in the reference of major nutrients. If we talk about the digestion of nucleic acids, so students, the major form of nucleic acids are nucleotides. Clear, students? Nucleotides, these are the three major units, means nucleic major units, means sugar, nitrogenous bases, pentose sugar, and phosphate group. These three units are max nucleotide form of our nucleic acid, and these nucleotides are get converted into nucleosides in the presence of enzyme nucleotidase. Must be remember, students. And further, these are the not end products of nucleic acids. Nucleosides also converts into sugar plus base in the presence of nucleosidase enzyme. These are found in intestines. So these are converts into simplest form, that is known as sugar plus base. Clear, students? So this is the end products of our nucleic acids. So students, this is the all about the digestion of food in our small intestine. Part first of digestion of food in small intestine we have already prepared in our last video. So this is the digestion of food in small intestine, part 2. So students, this is the part 24 of our human digestive system, and here we have completed the digestion process. We have studied complete digestion process and which organs involved in this digestion process. And today we have discussed how to digestion process take place in our small intestine, which enzymes are helps to digestion process in small intestine. And one more important thing we have already discussed, that maximum digestions of these nutrients, maximum digestions process take place in our small intestine. From here no digestion take place in other organs, means as large intestine, anus and rectum. So there is no digestion process take place in our further organs. So this is the last stations, last junction where the digestion process take place. So must be remember, students, and there are most of digestive enzymes are found in our this organs, means small intestine. So it is all about the digestion process. And students, in our further video we have discussed about the next portions, that is known as respirations of our chapter Human Digestive System. So students, human system. So students, this is all about the human digestive system. So this is all 24 parts I have uploaded in my YouTube channel. So if you have any problem to upload, to see, to visit my YouTube channels to see these videos, please contact me on my contact number. So students, if you have any problem regarding this chapter, this portions, so you can talk to me. So thanks a lot to watching me, and please subscribe my channel as you can. And in few days, upcoming few days, we have preparing an app which through this app we have going to started our online classes. So get ready students to take these online classes. So once again, thank you very much, and you can take screenshot for prepare your notes. Thank you students.